What is up, everybody? Joe Carlton here with my buddy Joey Brown. Welcome to Aces Up Podcast, episode 26. Tonight, we're going to review some of the teams that I had make the playoffs. We're going to start with some of my smaller leagues that are ran on the Sleeper app. We'll go over the Sports Affiliation Listener Expert League, which I made the playoffs in. We'll go over my Austin Eckler Charity League, which I did the draft with Gina Noble. Shout out, Gina. We did a great job. We're in the playoffs in that, finished in third place. We'll go over that. And then we'll talk about the FF7s with Iggy's IDP League. My first IDP league ever. I finished as the number 2 seed in our league. We'll go over that team as well. And then we'll jump into some of the high-stakes teams that I got through to the shootout. I believe there's 4 teams altogether in the RotoWire Online Challenge. One of the teams I split with Steve D'Angelo. The other 3 are my own. So we'll take a look at this, how I did for the year, total points, where I finished. We'll take a look at my lineups, and we'll kind of preset lineups. Obviously, things can change between now and the end of the week, but we will take a look at some of those lineups. Joey and I will analyze. I'll get some advice from Joe, see who he likes, who I might consider starting. We'll go over some of the players, some players that we're in on for the 3-week stretch, some players that we're not in on. Maybe we'll discuss some waivers. I know waivers are dead in the high stakes leagues, but there are still some leagues where waivers are still an option, and there are a couple of good players that presented themselves this week that may still be available in your leagues. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But Joe, how you doing tonight, man?
Doing good.
You feeling any better? Or you're still depressed about your bullet team, man?
Oh yeah, it was brutal the last 4 or 5 weeks, but that's the beauty of it. I mean, can't hang your hat. Even as bad as it was, I still scored 1,940 points. I mean, that's a pretty good year, really, to have that many bad weeks. Well, like I said, biggest injury I had was Drake London. That was the only bad one. And then Ibuka fell off a cliff. He's missing an action. He's getting a target share, but he just wasn't producing. I mean, you had to play him, but based on target share. But all in all, I'm good. I'll reload.
Nice. I like that, Joe. Got to keep going. 2022, I had a year like that where I got nothing went, and none of my teams went into the shootout, and I had like 5 or 6 teams that year as well. And none of them made the playoffs. It happens, Injuries happen. You could have a team that starts off real good, and then just variables come into play. Like with Ibuka, we know he got hurt at one point. We know Mike Evans went down. Chris Godwin wasn't there. He was pretty much being the focal point of all the defenses. So, things happen, and your team can go the wrong direction. And then it takes a little bit of effort and some good luck to get it back on track. And, sometimes just a cookie doesn't crumble your way for whatever reason. And that happens.
So it really started in week 5 when I lost Omari in Hampton. He was my RB2 behind Jonathan Taylor. Then when you do go double up on the running backs in the first 3 rounds like I did, it really, really messes with people that play in 3 wide receiver sets, in my opinion. What I'm getting at is Drake London was my 1, and my other wide receivers was my 2s and 3s and flex. But when you have to push him up like they have to be your 1, it just I'll probably not go 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds again. I don't feel comfortable doing it, and it shows. I'm going to go back to what got me there. I'm going to go back to wide receiver heavy next year. I mean, I know,
back to the well. That's it, Joe.
I still like some running backs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if I'm picking early, we'll get that later on. This coming in the off season.
I mean, roster construction. It's all about roster construction is everything. So if you do go with the 2 early running backs, I mean, you really got to piece together the rest of it properly, and then you got to hope for good health along the way,
Right.
because you invest the early pick in these premium running backs, and once they start missing time, your lineup really loses. You're missing a big key part of your lineup, and it's hard to recover from that. You have to remember that even though you took those 2 early running backs, you can't really abandon running back depth.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to load up on too many mediocre wide receivers. You just need the right 3 to 5 wide receivers that are going to hit, at their draft cost, and to make that build work. And then you obviously, like you said, you don't want to get caught without that running back depth, because if you do lose one of your premium guys, then it's tough to make up that ground, depending on how many weeks go by. You're without these guys. So
yeah, I always, when I used to draft, I've drafted different ways, which I can explain this to easy. Like I said, when I have, like say, a Jonathan Taylor, when he was putting up big numbers, that was almost like a player and a half point wise.
Right.
So really, the RB2, you really didn't need to be a strong RB2 as you do in the 3 wide receiver set. So really, you need 2 alpha wide receiver ones in case one does get hurt. It's still managing your roster, which I hit with early on with Tyler Warren on that team too. I didn't take tight end early, and I still had like Drake May. But if you don't have 2 alpha wide receivers, and like I said, Jalen Waddle was a good 2, Ibuka was a good 3, but they just can't be your 1s and your 2s when you got a Drake London that was getting his. You just can't make that up. Now, you could have, for the last 3 weeks, if I was lucky enough to grab Michael Wilson. I mean, that was been a good ad right there. But like I said, it's just roster construction, how you feel comfortable about it. But like I said, if you got that, like a Jahmyr Gibbs or somebody, that's like a player and a half with points.
Right.
So really, you don't need nothing. You could wait and take a shot on say a Devin Neal next year, or 7th, 8th round, just throw in that RB2 slot. That's how I used to manage RB2.
Right. Yeah. That's a hero RB build. Yeah. You want to get one, you want to lock up one high volume RB1, and then shore up the rest of your lineup. Maybe take an elite player at one of the onesie positions, the QB or tight end. It's very hard. I do know it's very hard to take a premium quarterback and a premium tight end.
Right. Yeah. You have to pick or choose.
You have to have everything go right all season with it too. Like a couple of years back, I had a Mahomes Kelsey stack. I didn't plan on doing it. I took Kelsey in the first round, and then I got sniped on the 2 guys that I was targeting in round 2. And Mahomes was just kind of like the fallback. Like it kind of just made sense as a fallback pick. And that season was my highest scoring team. I finished inside the top 30 overall, total points wise, for the entire contest. But then adversity hit. I lost Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was a top 10 wide receiver. Yeah. I also had DJ Moore rostered. Not that I lost him, but I hit on all my wide receivers, is my point. My mid-round wide receivers, that was DJ Moore's top 10. He was a wide receiver 6 that year, I believe. Keenan Allen was a top 10 wide receiver. So you have to hit on everything, but then you also have to not deal with injuries. And towards the end of that season, I lost Keenan Allen, and my lineup took 2 big hits, I believe. I can't remember who the other player was, but my point is, you literally need everything to go right with that type of build, because
let's say you took a Trey McBride 2nd or 3rd round in a build. Some people do. You could have made that work when you would have took Drake May later. That would have been the perfect combination, really, a McBride and Drake May, where he was going. You have to hit on that quarterback. But if you go with Josh Allen, then I don't know
Now you have to hit on all the wide.
$1,
You have to hit
maybe.
all your wide receivers. You need to
Yeah.
take in Jalen Waddle. You needed to hit those, Michael Pittmans, and even though he's tailed off towards the second half of the year, he was pretty consistent early on. As far as a mid-round wide receiver go, you need to hit on those mid-round wide receivers. It's a lot easier to hit on a mid to late round quarterback than it is wide receiver. So I will say that much.
Right. Yeah.
That's why the premium quarterback, premium tight end draft, when the draft is over and you're looking at your roster, you're thinking to yourself, damn, I did a really good job with this. But there's a lot that goes into that build over the course of 14 weeks in order to make it work all the way through. So,
outside the ACL injury, that say the people who took Dak middleways or even Josh Allen, you had Tucker Kraft, 9, 10, 11, Ram. I mean, he was awesome early on until he went down. But
right, yeah,
you
that was a
make
big
it work. You just got to hit, But that's what we all try to do. But
absolutely. All right. Now I like that. We had a nice little 10-minute discussion about roster construction.
And that's really important, especially this time of year, like you guys in a shootout. I've seen some teams, which I was looking at some teams, I'm not going to name the names, but some guys going to be worried. They got Patrick Mahomes, and then they got Daniel Jones. Jones is out, so a concussion to Mahomes these next 3 weeks or something. You're out a quarterback because you can't add nobody. Which it was bad luck when Jones went down, but I have seen some of them guys in the shootout that's got that combination. I'm like, oh God, you just got to hope Mahomes don't go down, or your history without that quarterback.
One conservative game script from the Kansas City Chiefs and your shootout team could be hurting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mahomes worries me over the course of 3 weeks. Like, we know he has a big ceiling, but you get those games where it's a defensive battle, it stays kind of low score, and there's turnovers. Kansas City's having success running the ball with Kareem Hunt, and Mahomes is being more of a game manager than an elite high end quarterback.
Yeah.
His fantasy points take a bit of a hit, and you get that low 20 total when you want 30 to 40 out of him. So, game script matters with Mahomes for sure. So the fact that you lost, and I'm sure the Mahomes Daniel Jones team were mixing it up all year. I don't think they were just relying on Mahomes the whole time. You got to get.
You got to just think about. I hope people listen to us all on our shows about. Let's say you went in with a Justin Herbert team. I hope that you went and added another quarterback. A third one, with whoever else you got with him, because he plays reckless. He still played reckless last night a little bit. I mean, with a broken bone healing in his hand. So I mean, it's more or less it's good to go with maybe 3 quarterbacks based on the health from going forward. Even if it's another name that we've thrown out there on them shows. It's not pretty, but Cam Ward is producing. Garbage time counts. I mean, he's been pretty decent. Him or Shador Sanders, Tyler Shuck. I mean, there's some good ones that you could probably add it to your like a third piece to your backup.
We got some company, Joe.
Let's see.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Josh? Appreciate you popping on, man. I didn't say anything. I just sent you guys. I sent I sent Dan a link. I sent Steve a link. You guys pop on. I bring you on. No big deal.
Well, it's been a really crazy day, and I was driving home, and I saw the email pop up with the invite, and so I don't know what you guys have talked about. But I just need like 2-minute therapy session.
Nice.
I know.
Let's hear it, Josh.
About the last night yet?
What's that?
Have you talked about last night yet?
Not yet.
Hold on a second.
Totally.
My headphone. Give me 1 second, Josh. I can't hear you. All right, go ahead. Say something.
Talk about roster construction going into the
we're going over roster construction a little bit. Just kind of we're winging it tonight. We had nothing planned. I'm going to bring up 3 of my teams that are on Sleeper, the Austin Eckler charity draft, the TSA listener expert league, and the Iggy's FF7 IDP league team. That 3 teams that made the playoffs. We'll go over them. You guys can help me set my lineup if you want. Then I'm going to jump over to the NFFC page and go over my 4 shootout teams. And same thing, we'll go over the lineups. We could talk about some players.
I only got a couple minutes because I still got some work I got to finish up.
Nice. So what were you saying now about last night?
The months and months of hard work, right? that go into it.
It does.
And then it comes. And by no means winning Sunday night should we have had a chance in our prime time.
Right.
But Pat Mahomes literally had the worst game of his career. And Dan was still like, Josh, we're not going to win. And I'm like, dude, the stars are aligning. Just like I said last night, stars are aligning. Ladd McConkey, we needed Quentin Johnston to outscore him by 1 point exactly, not 1.1, just 1 point. Ladd McConkey didn't have a catch. And it's in the third quarter, and we're winning because Quentin Johnston has 2 catches for 3 yards, I think is what it was.
8 yards.
Maybe 4 yards.
Yeah.
And I told Dan, I said, the last thing we want to have happen is the Eagles to take the lead because they'll change up their mindset on who they're trying to get the ball to. And Cooper DeJean had been guarding Ladd McConkey all night and just killing it, except for one stinking play. And Ladd caught a ball in the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I remember
7 yards. 1 catch, 7 yards. Completely shut him down. And now we're down by 0.35 points. And the sweat is on. And it's like we're not gonna see the field again. And then it goes to overtime. All right, we got this. So you're watching Quentin Johnston like a hawk. Because all you need, 1 catch for -6 yards, and we win. -6 yard catch. That's all I'm asking for. And he runs an out pattern. And Justin Herbert's seeing him. And for the second week in a row, it's midnight. And I'm jumping up and down, and I'm yelling and screaming. And he fires the ball. And I'm like, this is it. And the freaking defender grabbed a hold of Quentin Johnston. And that was it. That was the end of it by 0.35.
Oh, my God.
And it's just – and last night, I just kind of laughed about it, and somehow I went to sleep. And when I woke up this morning, I was like, man. And I've just been sick all day.
It's heartbreaking. People don't realize the leagues we play in takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of pride.
Yeah.
I mean,
you really do play with just some of the greatest minds in fantasy football. And there's a lot of people that are really good, but there's a lot of people in the NFFC that are just super sharp. And this is me and Dan's 5th year doing it. In our first year, we were all right. We finished middle of the pack, and we learned a lot. And I feel like every year we learn a lot. And this year, coming on the shows with you guys, we've learned a lot, pick up on different things, even just talking about stuff. You're like, you hear yourself say something. You're like, okay. But, man, this was a rough one. This was a rough one. And I saw the thing come through on for the show, and I was like, I'm going to jump on there. I just need to get it off my chest. I know that we're not the only ones that suffered a bad beat. That was our prime time, our roto, that we had been in first place all year. Got 3rd place. I mean, it's like, oh man, just is rough, but that's okay. Here in like 3 or 4 months, I'll be able to be able to pick myself back up.
Oh, we will. I've been heartbroken, man. I'm sitting here thinking about on these shows with these guys, everybody's in the shootouts, and I'm not done. I said, I don't want these people to think I'm that bad. I mean, I've done a lot of good things in NFFC. I'll tell you this, and this is not no arrogant, cocky, or nothing. This is the truth, Josh. I told Joe this on the phone. I played in about only 6 or 7, I don't know the total, prime times. I played 2 one year because I won a lot of money, and I played 1 each year. I think I won $18,000 some dollars on that contest, and I've only won 1 OC all these years. I can't do nothing in the 350s. I don't know. It's just like
it. You know, everybody's got their niche and everything. I don't know, and you can make every right decision. And if you go back and you look at every decision me and Dan made, like the last 3 weeks, compared to our bench, we made the right decision. We picked up players, we picked up defenses, we did all the right things. And then you get somebody like a Mika Igbuka who's playing in the rain. Baker throws it to him in the end zone, and he drops it. We did everything right. Where are you at, Mika? But we knew it going into it because we talked about it last week. Like it had been since week 6 or 7 since he'd hit double digits or something like that. Or maybe he might have had one game in there that was pretty good. But yeah, we were nervous about him, but that was our best option was him. And so it's rough. But usually I'm the one that's like grabbing Dan and picking him up and like, dude, it's going to be all right. We've got the playoff contest coming. We still got DFS. And today it was him. And you know, he pulled me back to reality a little bit, but I think you could probably win 10 leagues, and the bad beat just stings so hard.
Yeah,
just stings so hard.
It does. I mean, the work and the effort and the grind, it's so fun. The friendships you make in fantasy football, high stakes, it's nothing you can really. I mean, it's just awesome. It's just a great feeling. It's a great feeling. And if you're in them shootouts down that week 17, like, okay, let's just see how far. If you know you can't win it, you're like, okay, I need this play. Let's move up. This amount of this dollar amount's available. Let's go. Yeah. You know, but I guess it goes back from childhood. I played sports all my life, and I'm so competitive that you want to do good. And it's hard to compete against these teams. Like I heard today on the Fantasy Empire, Chad Schroeder had 32 primetime teams. He got 16 of them in. I mean, I'm one man with one team competing against a lot of these guys, which that's fine. If I had the money, I probably would too. But
I'd still be so sad. I'd be so sad over at least 8 of those 16 that didn't get in.
I would too, yeah. And when you go into these leagues, you think, I'm going to place, I'm going to do good. But I had a good friend to tell me one thing. That's how come my mindset truly is going to change now too, like going forward. You only got to beat 9 other people. You got to be one of the top 3 to advance. So really, you want that championship, but try to get in. That's the main thing, to get hot down the stretch. But I'm always – and I'll tell you something else right quick for y'all, because I'll shut up. But I think people get lost in high-stakes fantasy football when they see the $250,000. And I get that. I understand that. But if you can't do good in your league, you can't get there. Your league is just as important to me than it is. It's almost like relief in a shootout. Okay, I'm just sitting here and I want to put a line up.
It's like, all right, let me try to get – I want to get first place. Like we've done second place and third place now. That's great. This was what I felt like was our best shot at first place that we've had. And we want to get that first place in the league. And then, you know, when you get into the shootout, hey, I just want to at least get to that point where I cash. Like, let me get to the cash in the shootout, you know, and then from there, if you got a shot in that last week, man. But it's all good at the end of the day. You know, like Dan said, we're blessed to be able to do it. We're doing something that a lot of people don't get to do. Doing this right here 6 months ago, I never would have thought that I'd be doing this. So, but I really do enjoy it. But man, it's such a roller coaster of emotion. But tomorrow's Wednesday, and I'll wake up and I'll know that we don't have to do FAB, and that'll be fantastic. And we'll start looking at DFS lineups and seeing what we can get straight for the weekend. So
Hey, put them lineups in there for consolation rounds. I mean, that pays good too.
oh yeah, we will.
Yep.
But
That's right. Joey is a consolation round winner. So he knows, man. You keep it going. You keep that team rolling.
2018, I won the OC in the online championship. $5,000. I mean, I know I only had one entry. So
you actually outscored the winner of the actual shootout that year. I remember because I was inside that top 5.
I think that's another one of those things where you got to like go back into therapy for that, because you're like, wait a minute. If I wouldn't have had this one bad week or this one bad guy, then I would have been in the main contest. But
and then I'll tell you another heartbreak too. And this is I want to say 2021 maybe. I can't remember what year. I won the Silver Bullet League Championship. Went all the way through week 14. Had 2,200 some points, and the other people had 2,100. I was like, man. I had people text me. They said, you got a good chance at this. I said, we'll see. Week 15, Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans. They got beat 38-3 on Sunday Night Football against New Orleans. Fournette.
I remember this game very well.
My team was loaded, but one bad week in the shootout, guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's what sucks, but it's also what keeps you coming back for more.
It does.
It keeps you hungry, Josh.
That's right. But
they ain't out of my mind that you two, both of you all, and Dan, you all will win prime time. You will.
We're a lot better players than we were 5 years ago. We've made a lot of friendships, and we've been able to learn from people that we've met, and then drafting with the high stakes players makes you so much sharper, and you just learn different strategies, and you try out your own strategies that you throw in there. It's fun. It's fun. I'm semi off the ledge now. I've got it off my chest, and appreciate you guys for listening. Thanks for letting me lay on the sports affiliation therapy couch and vent.
That's like next year. I can promise you this, even with our listeners. I'm going to get back to what I was decent at, and that's what was picking up guys before they go off. The waiver wire, I might not be as good at. So used to be defense. I would look at 3 weeks out. That's the only way to do it when you were streaming. Like, okay, 3 weeks out, how good is this team going to be?
You know what happens though, Joe, is sometimes you have such a good team at the beginning of the year that you kind of overlook waivers. You know what I mean? Because it's not as much of a priority as it is for some of the teams that when you're in the middle of the pack and you're trying to sniff out a way to plug some of the holes in your lineup to get to the point where you can make a little bit of a run and get your team in the right direction. And sometimes that can lead to missed opportunities. Mm-hmm. By the time now we get to like week 6, week 7, and adversity strikes that team that was rolling, and now you need somebody, and you took your foot off the gas pedal on waivers 3 weeks ago, and you missed it. You had a chance to pick up this guy, even though at the time it would have only been a depth piece. There's just so many things that gets thrown your way throughout the 14 weeks that can derail you. Yeah.
And plus, it's also key to see what you never know who's. Well, I guess we can all go in and look and say, okay, this one's got a badge out from their name. Some of these people just throw money away, and you have to keep up with who's being dropped too, because a lot of people will drop good players, and a lot of times I've been bad for it this year because I was trying to make moves and move ahead. I never had patience with some, and you have to have patience when you add somebody.
Yeah.
Don't go too far along because it could cost you, but you need to stay on a guy for a couple of weeks before you back.
I mean, me and Dan, we're right here just outside of Cincinnati, and before we heard any news about Burrow coming back, he got picked up in one of our leagues. And then Christian Watson got picked up 2-3 weeks before he came back. Jaden Reed was another one that was getting picked up early. So, those could have been swing and misses. Jaden Reed could still be a swing and miss, I guess. They could be swing and misses just as much as they were great pickups. So, but like Kenny Rogers said, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And that's a tough thing because you can have some really promising rookies, some really good handcuffs sitting there on your bench, and you pass up on the Christian Watsons because you've got that guy that's just getting ready to go into his spot. We waited all year on RJ Harvey, and the last couple of weeks he finally got to really kind of start to come into his own, get his opportunity. But a lot of hard weeks with him sitting there on the bench or having to start him and not get great points.
So how many teams did you all get in the shootout? Have y'all got any in the shootout?
I'll be honest with you. We're in the consolation in both, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're in the consolation in both. But it's like what Ricky Bobby says. You're either first or you're last, and we did not get first, and we did not get second. What kind of universe is this in FFC that you don't go from first to second, you go first to third, or worse, But it was these leagues, and everybody's points are just a lot of.
I was just gonna say this year, a lot of the leagues were really close.
Well, you look at Joe's team. He got his Devontae Smith points that he needed, and he had the opportunity still in his hand. But kicker kicked 5 field goals, but you still had that shot. That's what we talk about on this show. But stress to these people out there: Jimmy Valvano, don't never give up. Don't give up. Don't never give up. Play it to the end.
That team had no business being in that position either. I was 7th, 8th overall in points. The highest I think I was 4th at one point, 4th and 5th. And, I was bouncing between 6th and 8th, pretty much most of the season. I just kept on finding ways to put a consistent lineup in there that was winning matchups. Got a little bit of luck with the schedule. I was facing teams. I faced the Jonathan Taylor guy when Jonathan Taylor was on a bye. I faced a Jahmyr Gibbs team when Jahmyr Gibbs was I got lucky with the schedule.
That's cool.
And I had the opportunity. I needed to win out. I beat Glenn 3 weeks ago. He's the guy who ended up winning the primetime league last night on me with the Chargers kicker. But, he outscored the second place team by like 140 points. So, he deserved that. It's not like it was a heartbreaking loss for me. I had no expectations, but the opportunity was there because I never gave up. I will say that, Joe.
That's the best thing about it. The beauty of the primetime. You got 2 chances, either points or the record, one of the two. And you had the record. You still had the record. But
I finished 10-4. 10-4. Yeah. With an eighth place total points team. I think I scored 8. I think it was I'll bring it up when we go over the NFFC teams in a few minutes. But yeah, Josh, so you have something to look forward to, dude. I am planning a look into the 2026 future ADP show over the next couple of, maybe the next 2 or 4 weeks, and that's somewhere in that span. And we can get you on here and we can start talking 2026. Maybe it'll make you feel better.
Let's do it.
I wouldn't care even care for some of us, based on if I sign up, do a 350, come on here and we'll do it live, or you all do one, or talk through
absolutely.
it. So you have, I'm gonna do some earlier ones this year.
Listen, Dan's going to tell you guys that he's done with fantasy football here in about 3 or 4 weeks, and he's going to be like, I'm taking 2 months off, or I'm taking 3 months off, and then it'll be about 2 days later, and you'll get the direct message, or I'll get a text message. It'll be like, I'm not doing a best ball draft right now for $3, you know, and you know he fires up pretty quick. There's only been a couple of years where he takes too much of a break, but he fires up usually within a couple of days of the Super Bowl. So I know Joe, you get in that like way too early draft, if I remember right. So
yeah, I'm drafting before the Super Bowl. I'm drafting 2026 teams before the Super Bowl's even over.
Just gotta let the sting go away here for a couple days, and I'll be back. It was a rough couple days. The Bengals and the prime times and the OCs and everything else. But for every heartbreaker, there's a flip side to it. Somebody's got a hero, and Lou Weber, his hero is Lad McConkey with his 1.7 points last night.
Lou's a good player.
He's a very good player. Yep. He's a really good player. So, all right. Well, guys, I got to hop off here. I got some emails I got to send out and stuff. I just wanted to pop on. I'll be listening to you. So,
all right, Josh, appreciate you jumping on.
Thanks for letting me jump on. See you guys.
All right, Joe. But before we jump into some of my teams, I want to get quick thoughts, Joe, on Phillip Rivers signing to the practice squad, Indianapolis Colts. Does this make you feel any better about the downslide of this offense? Does Michael Pittman have a chance to return to wide receiver 2 status? Does Tyler Warren get back to the production he was giving us early in the year? And, just give us some general thoughts on Phillip Rivers to back with the Colts.
Really, I think it's just based on what kind of shape he's in. I mean, he's got all these kids to take care of, so he has to be in pretty good shape, you know. I mean, not to be funny, but I mean, I would say he's in pretty good shape. And, you know, if Flacco can do it, maybe that's gave him an inspiration. I mean, it's better than what they've got.
Yeah, I agree. I'll agree with that. I mean, it's the backups they have. I think I'd roll with old man Rivers myself.
I would too. I mean, Richardson's a bust. I'll go ahead and say it. He was a good college quarterback, but he just ain't done it in the pro. I mean, he ain't gonna be back anyway. But they're gonna have to move on from him anyway. Unless they sign, if they keep Daniel Jones, they may sign him back. But I wouldn't be opposed to see. I mean, that offense has to have something. They're going downhill fast.
All right. We'll start with the TSA Title Belt League listener. This is a league filled with a couple of listeners and some of the experts and analysts over at the Sports Affiliation. We'll take a quick look at the standings, and then we'll get into my lineup real quick. Mm-hmm. I finished this league as the 3 seed, 10-4 record, 2,430 total points. I believe the top 6 make the playoffs and the top 2 get a bye. So I'm not sure if I get a first round bye or not. But I finished 10-4. My team is okay. It's a consistent team. I think it's more consistent than ceiling. It sucks that I lost Drake London, and he hasn't practiced at all this week, and he's got the short turnaround. I believe they play Thursday, and I don't think he's going to be available for week 15. So I will be without Drake London yet again. I have Drake London out, Alvin Kamara out. I got Luther Burden stashed on the bench. I got Hunter Henry stashed on the bench. I got Colts defense, Eagles defense, and Texans defense. Carry 3 defenses in this particular league because the defense scoring, defenses can get you 30 to 50 points in this type of format. JC wanted defenses to have a big impact because defenses win championships in the real NFL. So he wanted to make defenses have a big impact. So that's why I'm carrying 3 defenses, because every week I seem to find one to get me 30 plus points based on matchup. We got Houston facing off against Arizona this week at home. So I certainly like that. I believe I play them over Philly, and the Indy has Seattle. Philly has the Vegas Raiders. So I think that's the best matchup there. Quarterback, running back, I have Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Woody Marks at running back. My wide receivers going forward, Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, Xavier Worthy, not that great. Obviously it looked better at the beginning of the year after the draft, but wide receiver is probably my weak spot. This is tight end premium, but you don't have to start a tight end. That's kind of another cool little wrinkle in this format. It's also why I targeted tight ends as my flexes, because they do get you premium points. This week I have Gadsden, Colston, Loveland, and it's also a super flex format. My second quarterback is Caleb Williams, so I got decent quarterbacks: Caleb Williams, Jalen Hurts. A pretty solid foundation, which is why my team, is consistent. But, I've been losing. If I face somebody who has a spike week, I'll probably lose that matchup. I haven't had too many spike weeks, just more like, like 185 is like the average score in this weekly. And I've been able to get it to anywhere between 185 and like 215 a lot of weeks. I think maybe I had a couple of spike weeks, but that's what I got here. I'm going to go with Borregales kicking at kicker. Kickers also get a premium scoring in this. JC used the same scoring system from Scott Fishbowl 14 and 13, where the kicker gets points for the distance, including the extra point. So the extra point's worth 3.3. So if you get a kicker part of a high-powered offense like the New England Patriots, then that's a good piece to have.
He had double-digit points against Buffalo the first meeting.
Yeah. He's been a top 5 kicker down the stretch for sure. In all formats. Borregales, if he happens to be available in your league and you still pickups, definitely I would trust him for the next 3 weeks throughout the playoffs for sure.
In draft season, when it starts coming around, we didn't get the kicker guru on tell us who to draft.
Oh, Hoff, Mike Hoff, yeah, he is the kicker guru.
I like to bring him on with us, talk to about kickers next year before draft season.
We've had Hoff on a couple times. I asked him about that, and he said the reason why the kicker article was born is because Supernova Pete started doing the defense article, and it was so successful and it took off and people really liked it because not many people do defense and kicker content. And Hoff, he said he felt left out. He said he had to come up with something, so he decided to do the kicker position and start the kicker article and doing the kicker videos.
Yeah, both of those two. Pete's good at defense too.
Yeah, they are very good. The kicker and defense matters. If they're part of your format, then you have to find ways to maximize your edge there. And by what I mean is, don't just take one kicker and think he's gonna get you maximum points throughout the year. If you play week to week, if you play those two positions, kicker and defense, week to week, you can maximize your points higher than the number one spot, kicker or defense at that position, total points wise.
Yeah.
So there's ways to maximize the points you get in those two positions if you're streaming properly and doing the right research and putting the time in to figure it out. So And looking ahead, Joe, like you mentioned it earlier, looking ahead when it comes to defenses, sometimes two, even sometimes 3 weeks. You want to look ahead at some of those matchups. You got to look at the trends, which defenses are trending up, which, pay attention to injuries. All that stuff matters on, and then like you said, when defenses come across their bye week, some people don't hold on to them. They'll drop them because they need the roster spot. So you pay attention to which defenses become available throughout the season as well. There's many ways you can get an edge.
People dropped Cleveland a lot in my leagues, and I picked them up when I was on a bye.
Yeah, Patriots too. I had a couple of people drop the Patriots in this past week. So I mean,
it's a solid roster team.
There's a lot of ways to exploit defenses, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Joe, what do you think? You think Hunter Henry or Luther Burden is worth a start in this lineup?
Where could you put them at?
I have Godwin, DJ Moore, Xavier Worthy, and then my two flexes are Gadsden and Loveland, so I can put them in any of those spots.
Well, Loveland has been involved. I just don't know about
Gadsden's at KC. KC's been a beast against tight end, and the Chargers offense hasn't looked explosive at all. They're more, they got 2 healthy running backs now. So yeah, maybe I will pull Gadsden out and put in Luther Burden.
Well, let's see, who else do you have?
Because I do have Caleb Williams and DJ Moore, so I could go on all Chicago stack against Cleveland.
Right.
I know Cleveland's got a good defense, but Kamara and London are out, and I have Hunter Henry. Buffalo's tough against tight ends as well.
They are, yeah.
But I think I need to find a way to squeeze Luther Burden into this lineup, and it's probably going to be through Arondé Gadsden.
He didn't do that much, I don't think, last night, and with the way Herbert's playing with his hand right now, I don't know. He's still not completely healed.
Godwin logged a full practice today, so I'm not worried about that questionable tag. So I'm going to leave him in there. This lineup seems pretty set.
I like it.
Lot of bragging rights in this one. So hopefully this team can make some noise. Let's move on.
On the other option you could do based on if it was me, maybe Burden goes into the Moore spot where he's not been as good, and go with Burden, Caleb, and Loveland. Maybe you do go back to Gaston or Henry. Maybe DJ Moore scares me a little bit, but
I know. So you like a tight end in a tough matchup over DJ Moore in general? Yes.
Maybe. I mean, I could be wrong.
DJ Moore is the past 2 weeks he's given us crap.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you want to put all that into the Bear stack. I like a 3, but Burden's on the uprise and Loveland.
Gadsden and Hedden. I mean, it is tight end premium. Maybe I'll revisit it, but
we'll go back to that. Only thing you got to worry about is Godwin this week so far. Thursday, right? It's on Thursday night.
Just for the sake of moving on the show, we're gonna leave it at that, and then we're gonna jump over to my Austin Eckler. We'll jump to my Austin Eckler team. We'll look at the league standings real quick. See where I finished here. We got points by hand, third place, 10-4 record, 1,770 total points. A lot of cool prizes in this one for the Austin Eckler Foundation. This was a $250 buy-in. There's a nice little package for the winner of each league. Believe there's a fantasy football expo tickets. There's autograph memorabilia from Austin Eckler, pictures. There's just like a lot of cool swag, pictures, memorabilia, stuff
That's
like that
great.
as a prize. All the money goes to the Austin Eckler Foundation. So this was good. He came on Rick Bruce Willis's Give Back show during the summertime, and that was a pretty cool show. Got to share a few words with him in the chat, and you know, it meant a lot that I joined this because what Rick was doing with that show was amazing. I can't believe how many charity fantasy football leagues there are that do good. You know, and so, you know, that I decided to join it. I did this draft with Gina Noble. We streamed it live. So let's take a look at my lineup. Joe will set my lineup real quick. I already put the guys I had on bye week last week. I already put them back in the lineup. So quarterback, this is 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, a tight end, a kicker, and a D. Looking at my starting lineup, I got Drake May at quarterback, CMC and ETN at running back, Christian Watson and Pat Bryant at wide receiver, Harold Fannin at tight end, DeAndre Swift in my flex, have Will Lutz at kicker, and the Houston defense. I believe I'm going to take out Lutz and put in Borregales because I do have Borregales.
Right.
So we'll do that now. And then we got Drake London out on Alvin Kamara on IR, Garrett Wilson on IR. So I you know, my wide receivers again in my weak spot here, but I am down my 2 highest drafted wide receivers in Drake London and Garrett Wilson.
And Jordan Addison ain't performing, you know.
Yeah.
Next on quarterback play.
Xavier Worthy also on the bench.
Boom or bust. That's what I'm saying. If you had a better option, I know people out there think I'm crazy what I'm getting ready to say, but you could almost bench. And I know it, and I've said last night I think he's good, but Watson's almost benchable this week. I mean, and I know that sounds odd, sounds crazy.
Christian Watson?
I mean, is Surtain going to stay on him? You know what I'm saying? That was my only concern. You know, he only had 4 targets. He was real efficient. I mean, you have to play. You ain't got no other options.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm
not knocking him. I think he's good, but we could see a sluggish game from him.
Right.
That's the only, and like I said, you ain't got nobody else you can't put in there. I mean, you can't trust Addison. You can't trust Xavier Worthy. I mean, Watson's the better player of the bunch. There's no question. You may just have to temper expectations this week. If Surtain is on him. If not, all wheels up.
We just gotta hope Drake May and CMC carry this lineup along.
Oh, that's a good team. That's a good team.
Yeah, this team was 10-4, so we're hoping to win this league so we can brag about it on next. You know, that we won the Austin Eckler Foundation $250 charity draft league. So
don't it seem like it could be a week in this game right here? He goose-egged everybody last week. I had him in the lineup, but Romeo Dobbs, don't you think it may be a Romeo Dobbs week because if Surtain is on Watson, and don't get me wrong, he can still beat Surtain for.
I was going to say Watson usually good for 3 big plays every week. Now, whether or not he gets that touchdown or not is another story. But
when you're at this stage of the game, you're going to have to play. I mean, there's no, especially you have to. And everybody out there listening that's going to play him, I know, like I said, they're going to think I'm crazy, but like I said, it is something to consider. I mean, he still could give you maybe 3 for 80 or 2 for 60 and a touchdown maybe, but Surtain is pretty good. He's a good corner.
Yeah, it's the 2 for 34 that you don't want.
Yeah. Very possible. But
no, I get that. I definitely get that. It's going to be.
But you can't bench him. I mean, ain't nobody here in Fantasyland is going to bench him, but that's like I said, anything can happen.
You got to have a loaded team if you're benching Christian Watson. But,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't bench him at this point, but
All right, we'll jump over to one more team on sleeper, then we'll get over to the high stakes teams. But
Which one's this?
This one is the FF7's Iggy's charity IDP league. This benefits the Kawasaki Foundation, Kawasaki disease there. This is my first IDP draft ever. I'm going to say this. I offered after next year, I believe next year is the last year Iggy's going to run it. And I offered to take over running this contest. I believe there's 4 leagues. It's either 4 or 6. I can't remember. I think it's 4 though. 4 leagues in total. 14. I believe is it 16 team leagues? I don't know. Let me look at the standing. I think it might be a 16 team league.
There you go. It's deep.
Yeah. Let's take a look. There's the standings. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there is 4 divisions. 4 divisions of 4. So it is a 16-team league. There's normal quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex, a kicker, a defense, and then there's I'll bring it up when I look at the lineup, but we're going to take a look at the standings here. It was me, Rick, Bruce Wellis, Rico, and Uncle Mercy in the division. Rick, Bruce Wellis, and Rico, sports affiliation fam. So Iggy kind of tossed us all in the same division so we can battle it out. I squeaked it out with a 10-4 record. Rick 9-5, and Rico 6-8. But I will say this: his 6-8 team was a thorn for sure. Like that, he had some tough losses against both me and Rick. Where he had good weeks and we just kind of had sailing weeks. Me and Rick's teams are pretty good. I did pretty good for my first IDP draft. I think my IDP lineup isn't as strong as my offense is, but overall, I finished second overall in scoring.
That's good.
Out of the 16 teams. So
that's real good.
3,166 points. We'll take a look at. We'll take a look at the lineup. So it's one quarterback. It's super flex. 2 running backs, super flex, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, 1 super flex. Then you got a defensive lineman, a linebacker, and a defensive back. But you also have 3 IDP flex spots, which is this right here. These 3.
Wow.
So you're playing 6 total individual defensive players as well as a team defense. And in this team defense, again, scores a shitload of points. 2 weeks ago, I had the Seattle defense score me 86.7. Yeah. So, yeah, they went nuts a couple of weeks ago. I have them in there again against the railing Indianapolis offense this week. I also have on my bench, I'm out Drake London, been on IR. So as good as this team is, I am missing one of my top weapons. We'll get into the starting lineup real quick. I see Borregales there. I might have to get him in the lineup.
Oh yeah,
he's on the bench because of the bye week. So we'll take Lutz out. We'll put Borregales back in. So at quarterback, I got Dak and Sam Donald. That's obviously not going to change. One thing about this league, what made this league real tough is look at how many bench spots there are, Joe.
Yeah, you ain't got many.
There's just 5 bench spots and only one IR spot. So if you have more than one injury, you got to tie up a bench spot with your injured guy.
But what I like about it, people's looked at this like, why has he got that many defensive? But you just said you scored 80-some points with Seattle, so defense is really big. So you got to have Houston. You've got Houston a lot of places. I wish I'd listen to you during the year and take Houston defense. They're good.
Yeah,
Seattle's been really good too.
So looking at this lineup, I got Bijan and Travis Etienne at running back.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, Christian Watson at wide receiver.
Sure.
Shakira is my flex. Sam Donald, my super flex. Getting into the IDP players. These are my flex IDP players. Was it Quez Walker, Shamari Connor, and TJ Edwards. Finally, he's healthy. He's been I've been refusing to drop him because he's an absolute beast when he's on the field. So I have him. And then my main defensive players, my defensive lineman, Jared Verse. I got Edge Cooper at linebacker, and Kevin Byard, defensive back for the Bears. So I got some of the Bears defense. I got some of the Rams defense.
Yeah.
On my bench, I have defensive end from Buffalo. Is it Greg? I think it's Greg.
Oh,
Greg,
yeah.
Yep, Greg Rousseau. Or Rossau, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and Christian Gonzalez.
Oh yeah.
As well. And I've been, those are my depth pieces. The bench has been kind of changing each week. Like I had to drop Alec Pierce. I had Alec Pierce rostered, and then bye weeks came across, and I was either going to have to take a 0 or drop Alec Pierce for an IDP player, and I ended up having to drop Alec Pierce and of course Rick Bruce Willis, that savvy fantasy manager that he is, in my division, scooped him up and it helped him with his team because he had at the time lost Puka Nacua due to injury, and Alec Pierce filled that void pretty good. Alec Pierce has been real good down the stretch. It sucks that they just lost their quarterback, but maybe Phillip Rivers can shed a little bit of light on that situation and at least keep the offensive weapons there fantasy relevant. So, but yeah, this team in the playoffs, not sure the playoff structure, but, because there is 4 other leagues. I don't know if the league champions face off at the end or it's a total points thing. I'm not sure. All of the playoff rules, to be honest with you, but it was a fun league. IDP is a great format, gives you a different way of looking at the game, keeps you involved in paying attention to defenses. That's for sure. Trends like formations, what happens when they play a team where they're going to do more zone or they're going to play more man, which defensive players are going to benefit from that snap wise. A lot of guys, you look at their game log and you'll see 94% snap share, and then you'll see 73% snap share, and you're like, why is that? And if you look into it, it's because of formations, the team they're playing, the game plan, game script, all of that comes into play. So it's definitely been fun trying to learn something new. I really like it. I would like to say that I'm going to add a team, but we'll see when I decide to put my schedule together for how many teams in each one of the contests I'm going to be playing this year. I know this year I had a lot of teams, 20, 24, 23, 24 managed teams all together. So,
I've got one hometown league that I've got IDP too.
But
I just fill a lineup out. I don't know. I don't keep up with it like I probably should.
But I'm gonna remove that screen. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll jump over to the high stakes stuff now. Let me just get this screen set up here, and then we can jump into that. I want to go over my primetime team that didn't make the playoffs. Then we'll hit my 4 shootout teams.
Yeah.
So let's see. Teams, primetime, GST. Okay. All right. So now I got to share the screen. We're going to convert to, first we'll go to, got to remove this. Stop screen on that one. Share screen. League standings, NSSC. There we go. All right. All right. So there we go. We got the standings up. It shows that I'm in second place, but that's just because it's showing the record. This is what we were talking about earlier, where I had the opportunity to finish with the best record. In this format, for those of you not familiar with the NFFC format, it's total points and best record. If there are two different teams, if there's one team with the best record and one team with the most total points, then they go head to head for 3 weeks for the league, for first and second place, basically, for the league title and the second place prize. If you finish with the best record and the most points, you lock up the league, the first place prize right away, and there's no 3-week matchup, and then second place is determined by total points. So basically, the only way the record comes into play is if you finish with the best record. If you do finish with the best record but not the most points, then obviously the team with the most points, that's who you face. And then the third place team kind of gets screwed because the second highest scoring team now becomes the third team. If any other team scores higher than the team with the best record, they do get a playoff berth into the shootout, but they can't compete for a league prize. The league prize only goes to the best record and the total points.
That happened to me.
Yeah. So in this instance, I was 9-4 coming into this week. Generation X, Glenn Lowy, was 9-4 as well. I beat him 2 weeks ago to create the opportunity. I needed to win out. If I won out, I would have been, but the week before, week 13, I lost. So it made us go back to the same record. The problem with having the same record is the tiebreaker is total points. So I needed help. I needed him to lose this week, and I needed to win. I won my matchup, and I had to sweat out the Chargers kicker last night. But as we all know, the Chargers kicker had quite the game, 22 points. So congratulations, Glenn, on winning the Greenwich Street Tavern Live New York primetime draft. Your team is absolutely buzzing. You outscored everybody by, I think. Let's see. Let's filter it out to points. As you see, my team dropped because of that. But yeah, so Glenn wins this with 2,050 points. He's 94th overall in the primetime. Second place team, 1984, goes to Mike Zander. Congratulations, Mike, on second place. You bastard. No, just kidding. I know you were rooting for the Chargers kicker last night because had Glenn lost his matchup, you would have been that second highest scorer that got screwed. You would have dropped down to third. And I do believe the primetime pays out 3 spots, though, right?
It does.
Yeah, so it's not like the regular online championship only pays 2 spots. The primetime pays 3 spots. So he wouldn't have been totally screwed, but he definitely would have dropped down in as far as how much he was getting back. So congratulations to Glenn and Mike. Good luck to you guys in the shootout rounds. Hope you guys do well. Going to move on to the first shootout team, and also my heartbreaking loss here. Filter it out to total points. This is the live Greenwich Street Tavern Live New York online championship. This is the 350 buy-in.
That was close points.
Yep, I finished with 1992.75. Second place finished 1993.75. So I missed second place by 1 point. And the winner, 1994 even. So 1.25 points away from winning the whole thing in the $1,500 first place prize. But now I get nothing because I finished third. However, the guy, Michael Zucca, with the best record, 11-3, has less points than me. So I get in as a wild card. If you outscore the guy with the best record in your league, you get into the playoff, the 3-week shootout as a wild card. Or if you finish in the top 15 percentile of the entire contest, which in this instance is 655. So this here shows 648. So I could get in that. I would have gotten in that way as well, even if I didn't outscore the team with the best record.
I mean, even down to Michael Edelman. I mean, my God, that was a.
That's actually Michael Edelman's kid that drafted that team. He did a good job at the
draft. Points from his points on up, man. That's a tight league right there.
Yeah. So I was down in the standings, and if I was to filter this out to like week 6, I was like 8th or 9th place. I crawled my way up. I'm very proud of this team and the way it's.
Absolutely.
I turned it around and got it pointing in the right direction. I hope I can make some noise in the shootout. Let's go over the
let's go over it.
Let's go over the lineup. All right. So this is still the silver bullet. Hold on. There we go. So we got Dak Prescott at quarterback, Kyle Monangai, and Aaron Jones at running back. I did do 0 RB in this one, Joe, just for you. No, I had no plans on it. It just turned out that way. It was because Rashee Rice fell to me where I was going to take a running back, and I just couldn't pass up on him. And then I ended up pushing it back even further because at that point I wanted to maximize my wide receiver room and, to go with my elite tight end, which I did take Trey McBride in the back end. I had the number 1 pick. And yes, I got Jamar Chase. Then it came back around. I took Trey McBride in that 1 pick there, 3rd round reversal. So I only get 1 pick at the 2-3 turn. And then I went from there. But first running back I took was Aaron Jones, I believe, in round 7. So, but yeah, Kyle Monangai, Aaron Jones at running back, wide receiver room, Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, Terry McLaurin, Trey McBride at tight end, Michael Wilson as the flex. He was a nice little scoop up. I added him. Yeah, oh yeah. On my bench, I got Garrett Wilson on IR. He was the my wide receiver room was pretty stout to start the year. Lost Garrett Wilson, kind of hurt. Rico Dowdle, he came up big here earlier on in the year for this 0 RB build. Kenneth Gainwell. Considering playing him, though, what do you think? Do you think I should play Kenneth Gainwell over Monangai or Aaron Jones this week? I mean, he does have.
Who's he got? Miami. You can run on Miami, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Gainwell has been involved, even though Jalen Warren's still the leading rusher. Gainwell has given us an 18.2 and a 16.2 in the 2 of the last 3 weeks.
I think he's in play.
He's definitely in play. He's got 16 targets over the last 3 weeks. If you count the game where Warren went down with an injury, that's another 8 targets. And, he is our RB1 when Jalen Warren misses time for sure. Dan and Josh in the chat said, Josh saying, if you ate first, you're last. And Dan is saying that Josh is missing. Josh is a dummy. We made the shootout. You'll see us still fighting for first. Okay, so they do have a team going into the shootout. So I think Josh is just a little bit of emotional. He's emotionally broken over the prime time loss.
Understandable. I like this. I would probably play Gainwell some way. Cleveland defense.
Yeah, Monangai got the Cleveland defense. I had him in the lineup last week. He gave me an 8.7. The week before that, 19. So he's getting 15 touches per game at least.
Tony Pollard ate him up this past weekend too.
What's that? The Cleveland defense?
Yeah, he had like 150, 160 yards, maybe 140. Something like that. It was way up there.
Emotionally broken. Nice. Yeah, so I mean, What do you think, Michael Wilson against Houston?
That's those things I'm going to tell you. The only bad part about this, you can't set both of them. I mean, McBride or Wilson, but going back to what I said about Christian Watson, I mean, that's the same thing with Michael Wilson. I mean, how do you not play him? But
Arizona draws a tough first playoff week matchup.
I don't think Houston defense has allowed a top 12 quarterback.
No, especially at home. They're even more stingy at home than it is in Houston. Yeah, so I got some decisions I gotta make here.
You could try to play. When people zig and you zag, you could always bench Michael Wilson, use McBride, and put Gainwell in the flex, and just use them 2 running backs. I mean,
just to get a little different from the other Michael Wilson teams.
Then you just got to hope that Michael Wilson has a bad game. That's really what you got to hope for.
Oh, is Maserati Mav? What's his status? I haven't even.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Maserati and Marvin Harrison's going to be active or not. But yeah, this I'll have to take a look at that flex spot. I think that's the only question.
At least you don't have nothing on Thursday night, so you're good there right now.
Aaron Jones against Dallas. Dallas has been real good against running backs as well in the last.
They've gotten better. Yeah, their defense has gotten a lot better since they got Quillen Williams.
Going into last week, they were number 1 against the running back over the last 4 weeks. I'll have to take a look at that to see if that's still the case. But Aaron Jones, 3 consecutive weeks with single-digit fantasy point output. Maybe he's the guy I got to bench.
Right. Yeah.
But I think you're right, Joe. I think Kenny Gainwell is gonna end up in my lineup somewhere somehow. Devin Singletary against Washington, kind of interesting as well. I really have to hit the right running backs. Yeah. This is the thing with the thing with 0 running back strategy. You got to pick out the right ones to start. So we'll move on to the next team. This is the first team that I drafted. This was the first OC that I did. I believe it was either at the end of April or the beginning of May. I forget when. It's called Throwing Up Cash because my son literally got sick and threw up all over the place 5 seconds before the draft started.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just him and I home alone. The wife was out with my daughter. They were having a girls' night. I forget where they went, to be honest with you. But I just remember I was going to live stream it, and then I decided not to because he wasn't feeling well, and that was a possibility. And thank God, because I would have literally been live when that happened. But yeah, this was the first team I drafted. I had the number 2 pick, got Bijan Robinson. We'll take a look at the standings real quick. Let's see, standings, league. So here we are. We finished second place. We had a chance to. We faced off against the first place team, Josh Dombrowski, this past week, and we lost 137-114. Had I won, I would have finished with the best record, and I would have created a chance to play for first place. Yeah, but that was not the case. I ended up losing. We finished with the same record, 10-4. He got me US total points. His team is actually really good, 2,131 points to my 1941. So this is a locked up second place. So second place cash locked up. Going into the shootout. Now we can take a look at the lineup. We have Jared Goff at quarterback. I also have Caleb Williams at quarterback. So Caleb Williams at home against Cleveland. Jared Goff on the road against the Rams. Both have pretty sucky matchups, so I'll have to look at that. What do you think, Joe? For that, Jared Goff.
I'm going Goff
at LA. Yeah, right. That's more likely to be a shootout than Cleveland, Chicago. I'm guessing. That game's in Chicago. It's not in Cleveland. Shador Sanders did play decent this past week. He had 300 plus yards, 3 passing touchdowns, better than we've seen out of any Cleveland quarterback all year. But
and plus you're using Jameson Williams, you get the hookup.
Yeah, I also have DeAndre Swift too.
Yeah.
So I did connect some correlated some players throughout this draft. I did, Caleb Williams with DeAndre Swift. This team also had Sam Laporta, I believe. Yeah, I did end up dropping him. So at tight end, I got Njoku, Gadsden, and Darnell Washington at tight end. So
you want to use one of them anyway.
I might have to play Gadsden. I have Hunter Henry as well. I forgot I had it. Somebody dropped Hunter Henry going into week 14, and I picked him up. I used all the fab I had left on him, actually, because my tight end, after losing Laporta, my tight end room was definitely kind of a mix and match type of deal. Gadsden came on strong for a little while, but then he kind of faded off. Darnell Washington never really panned out. That was a speculative ad. And Njoku's been in and out of the lineup. He played, he got on the field. He had 1 catch for a touchdown and then was done. 7.6 points he got me, I think.
It's almost hard not to keep. It's almost hard not to have Wan'Dale Robinson in lineup against Washington.
Yeah, I got Wan'Dale on the bench. I got Marvin Harrison on the bench. Devin Singletary.
Shit, you can't get them all in the lineup.
No, because I got J-Mo, Rashee Rice, Christian Watson, and I'm flexing Swift. I mean, and Breece Hall has got Jacksonville. I mean, I don't know if I can. Breece he's a tough bench. He does have those down weeks, but he could score 15 to 20 points any given week just based on volume alone. I mean, it's hard to bench Breece Hall. But yeah, as of now, I got Goff, Bijan, Breece, J-Mo, Rashee Rice, Christian Watson, and Njoku, which I'm probably going to switch out to Gadsden. And I know Gadsden's got a sucky matchup, but it might be. Oh, no, I got Hunter Henry, who also has a sucky matchup. So, my best options at tight end have the worst matchups possible, but I'm going to have to pick one anyways to go through there. I got the Texans kicker. And let's look at defense. We got Patriots D against Buffalo and Colts D against Seattle. And I'm thinking I'm gonna, who I'm gonna go with, Joe, because you know that I know that they enjoy disrupting Josh Allen. So,
Vrabel put something together.
The Patriots are playing for the division. I'm pretty sure they'll lock up the division.
I'd probably use him too
this Sunday. So they're going to be pulling out all the stops. They're going to get an MVP effort out of Josh Allen for sure. It's going to be a great game. Really looking forward to that one on Sunday. But yeah, I think I'm more confident in the Patriots defense than I am the Colts defense. So let me go ahead and I'll make that switch now. That's the switch I'm definitely making now. We'll save that right away.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. And then I'll revisit the tight end thing. I don't think I'm going to leave Njoku. I'll have to really look into that some more. But that is this team. So let's jump over to the next team that I have. This is my highest ranked online championship team. Let's take a look at the standings first. Standings. There it is. We finished with the best record, but not the most points.
Close.
I know. 2063, the leader, 2082. So he got me by 19 points.
Yeah.
Still, I'm 268th overall. I finished with the best record, so I will be squaring off against Mr. David Webb, team Power of the Night, in a 3-week matchup for the first place prize. Second place money locked up as well in this one. Obviously, we're going to do the 3-week matchup for first. Third place team, Matthew Shepard, Drafted with him
He's a good player.
I drafted with him in New York as well. He is definitely getting in as a wild card with being 368th overall. So kind of top heavy. Top three teams were pretty much in that spot all year. Let's take a look at the lineup. We have Bo Nix at quarterback. I also have Bryce Young and Jackson Dott at quarterback. So, Joe, we got Bo Nix. Bo Nix at, that's what I was thinking too. Bo Nix at home against Green Bay. Bryce Young on the road against New Orleans. And Jackson Dott at home against Washington. I think I'm going to go ahead and make that change now. It's definitely going to be Jackson Dott.
Which, I mean, Bryce Young, you don't know which Bryce Young you're going to get, you know?
Well, he had 230 plus. He had a 35 and a 41, I want to say. And that's when I picked him up. I was like, this might be the third quarterback I need on this team, just because you never know. Like, you can have two quarterbacks and then you can have none. Like, and then you're talking about the 3-week shootout. You kind of don't want to play a quarterback in a bad matchup or a bad game script type of situation. Like you said, one bad week, Joe, and you fall behind the 8 ball, and then it's hard to catch up.
Oh, yeah. So
carrying 3 quarterbacks when you don't have an elite quarterback is always a good strategy.
Right.
When it comes to the 3-week shootout. So we got at running back, we got Genty and Jonathan Taylor. Wide receiver, JSN, J-Mo, Cortland Sutton. Tight end, Gadsden. Flex, Jordan Addison. Kicker, Seahawks kicker. Yeah. Defense, Colts. So defense, we got Colts D on the road against Seattle. Philadelphia at home against Vegas. And Patriots at home against Buffalo. What do you think there?
Kind of like the Eagles defense, but I kind of like Wandale in the flex.
Right. Yeah, no, Jordan Addison I don't know why I played him last week, but I did.
Which, I mean, he's got Dallas this week. I mean, it's doable.
Bam Knight would be interesting, too, except for the fact he's got to go to Houston. And that's a brutal matchup. So
I like Jalen Coker a little bit, too.
Yeah, Coca, Hunter Henry, Wandale Robinson, Bam Knight, Keaton Mitchell, Kamani Vidal all on the bench. We went over my quarterbacks already and my Bs. So, yeah, only carrying 1 kicker. The Seattle kicker has been pretty good all year, averaging
great. Yeah.
Averaging 13 points per game.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to swap out defense. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm still leaning Patriots defense over Eagles defense. But I did pick up the Eagles defense as a third defense like 3 or 4 weeks ago for a reason. It was after they made all those moves at the deadline. I thought they had a chance at playing well down the stretch, we'll say, because they are, still in position to make a run to run it back and repeat as Super Bowl champs. They're not just going to lay down and die. As chaotic as their season has been, they are still in position to make the playoffs and make a run. So their defense is definitely going to be. I expected the defense to be better down the stretch. So I added
using Dart. You'd have Dart and Wandale, so it would be
right. Yeah, I'm gonna put Wandale in there now, so you feel better about it. That Jordan Addison there's bothering you. I can tell.
No, I mean I like him. I mean, this is the week if he's going. You could do. They're going to be somebody pop off in these next 3 weeks. It's either going to be Jefferson or Addison.
So now the tight end, I got Hunter Henry and Gadsden at tight end. Both have awful matchups. So let's see what I'm going to check and see what Hunter Henry did against Buffalo last time.
2 for 46.
Yeah, 2 for 46. That's not that great.
And Gaston didn't play in the first week against Kansas City.
Oh, there you go. And yeah, so I don't know. I might lean Hunter Henry there too.
Might as well. It's going to be a high-scoring game. You know, it should be over and under. I ain't looked at it, but it should be pretty good. Say in the 50s.
You're probably right about that. I would say you're definitely right about that. I see it. I see that being a high flying and entertaining game for sure. Like you mentioned earlier, Josh Allen's going to come with the MVP effort for sure.
Yeah.
Patriots are going to do their thing as well. One thing I noticed last week was how physical the Patriots defense have been playing, man. And it's great to see because once November rolls around, those defenses that are being more physical have an edge, in my opinion. They this time of year that you want to be as physical as possible.
Right.
When the cold weather months hit, the big time games start happening. You want to have your defense flying at all angles. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to I'll throw in the Patriots defense now because I think that's how I'm leaning. But I'll definitely look into it. I'll do some more research on the Eagles matchup. But yeah, this lineup is looking pretty good. I like it. I mean, any lineup that has Jonathan Taylor and JSN, you're probably in pretty good shape. This is also one of the few teams where I took two elite running backs early. Joe, I know you said it messed you up, but this was definitely my best build, my best team overall this year.
But where you took JSN, that kind of filled the void.
Right. Yeah, I got JSN in round 3. So, which I thought was nuts. I was taking him when I had the early picks. I was taking him in the back end of the second round, and a lot of drafts he was falling to the beginning of the third, and a few picks, and even a few picks into the third round, that was surprising to me. Josh says FanDuel has it as 49.5 over under. Good call. But yeah, this team looking pretty good. I got one more team going to the shootout. It's the one that I share with Steve. We drafted this live. We live streamed it. We lost Drake London. That's the only sucky part about this team. We'll look at the standings first. Overall record, we didn't do so good, 7-7. But when you factor in total points,
7 points out.
Total points.
Less 7.
No, it's more than 7. It's 107.
Oh, I thought that said 2020 or 21-20. Okay.
Yeah, no, the guy in first place got a good team, Patrick Schaefer. But yeah, we had a pretty good cushion from between second and third place. We kind of knew that we were going to lock up second place money here, so we did that. We do have second place locked up. We're going to the shootout with this team. We scored 2,013 points. Record only 7-7, so less luck on the schedule in this particular league.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the lineup. I feel like Steve should be here for this. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk during the week, I'm sure. We got Mahomes and Brissett at quarterback. We know that that's an easy choice this week.
Yeah.
Breece Hall, Jordan Mason, Rashad Smith, Alvin Kamara, Brian Robinson at running back, Singletary as well. This has been our weakness all the year is running back. I guess that's what happens when you roll with Breece Hall as your one. But yeah, wide receivers, Alec Pierce, JSN, Pat Bryant, Flex and Debo.
The only thing that I would do on this one, based on what I think, I mean, you all can decide, but I would move Debo up to the Alec Pierce slot and maybe go based on who the quarterback is in New York, Adnan Mitchell. I don't know if Tyrod Taylor's going to play. You still got Hunter Henry and your guy, Devin Singletary, based on Tyrone Tracy's status. If he comes out healthy out of the bye, Pierce might take a hit, even though he's been good, based on, is Philip Rivers going to come out and start? I don't know who they're going to use.
I think from what I've read, Philip Rivers is most likely going to be the starter this Sunday. So
that's something I would consider. Maybe.
If Philip Rivers is the starter, I think I'm leaving Alec Pierce in there. But if it's anybody else, then you're right, Joe. We probably have to revisit that. We got a question in the chat from Albert. Albert, appreciate you tuning in, brother. Matt Stafford, Brock Purdy, Jackson Dart, pick 2 for Superflex. I think I know my answer. I'll let you go first, though, Joe.
Stafford is definitely in. Who's 49ers got?
Tennessee.
That's tight.
At home. 49ers are at home.
I'd probably go Purdy. I like Dart. I like both. He's got good options, but you can't bench Stafford. Or who would you go?
I'd probably lean with Stafford and Dot because that's the highest upside play. I think
because it could be a CMC game, so you might unless you get he catches touchdowns out of the backfield. But
yeah, I just think Dot has a higher ceiling than Purdy. Purdy maybe, you know what I mean. Dot isn't going to slow down. Dot's got the rushing upside.
Yeah,
and he's got a great matchup against the Redskins. I said it again, against the Commanders. And they're at home. They're in New York at home. Good matchup.
Yeah.
The Giants have been playing behind most games, so this could be a game where he ends up having a lot of pass attempts.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think both. I actually think the Commanders' offense is probably going to have a bounce back week as well, as bad as they have looked. But yeah, appreciate the question, Albert. All right, so yeah, looking at this team, I'll have to double check with Steve. We usually.
Y'all can talk that one out and see.
Yeah.
I said, Singletary might be over Mason,
Singletary over Jordan Mason.
Maybe. Just depends on Tyrone Tracy if he comes back healthy or not out of the bye.
Right. All right. I guess we got time for one more team. I forgot I have my auction team. This isn't part of the shootout or anything, but this is the very first auction I did, so I do want to highlight it. We'll look at the league standings. I finished as the 1 seed. This is ends up. What happens is it's a 4.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, four playoff teams. You start with your weekly average. It's done the same way as the shootout, but just within your league, with the top 4 teams in each league. I believe the top 2 are in a shootout of some sort with against the rest of the auction leagues. I'm not sure what the first place prize is. It's either 10 or 15K. I want to say. I'd have to look at the rules. It could be less than that too. It could be only be 5K. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I do know that the top 4 play for the league prize, and the top 2 play for the overall prize. So let's take a look at this lineup, Joe. I finished 1,953 points. I squeaked out the 1 seed by 4 points. But this isn't like the online championship. I don't just lock up first place. There is a 4-team playoff because it's a confined league. Let's look at the lineup. We got Brissett has a terrible matchup this week. I have Brissett and CJ Stroud. They're facing off against each other. Who do you think I should start, Joe?
I'm going CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I am too, even though I have Trey McBride on this team.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I have Michael Wilson too, no? Oh, no, I don't. I thought I did. No, I don't have Michael Wilson on this team. Just Trey McBride.
and plus you got Jaden Higgins too.
Yeah, I do have Jaden Higgins as well. He's come on strong, huh?
Yeah.
Down the
Nice
stretch.
little Houston stack, with the kicker and Stroud. It's not that I don't like Brissett, I don't like the matchup,
Yeah, I don't like the matchup either. I agree. I think I'm going to plug him in now. We'll throw CJ Stroud in there now. We got Bijan and DeAndre Swift at running back.
See it.
Pickens, Devonta Smith, Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Xavier Worthy at flex. Looking at my bench, I have Jordan Mason, Malik Washington, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Austin, Kyle Williams, Devon Vele, AJ Bonner, Dalton Schultz, and
I like him, but I don't know if I want to go that many Houston Texans,
Right. I'd have to flex him. There's no way I'm playing him over McBride.
Yeah. I mean, he might be more trustworthy than Worthy.
This is true. Well, what about Vele?
Yeah,
I picked him up. I picked him up at the last waiver run. I mean, he's given us 5 targets in each game over the last 3 games. There's only really one good fantasy game though against Miami, 23.3 at 7 against Tampa Bay, 6.7 against Atlanta.
The way Tyler Shucks playing, that's sneaky. It's indoor. That could be a sneaky shootout, really.
Against Carolina, right?
But Carolina,
he had one catch for 15 yards against Carolina in week 10.
Mm-hmm.
3 targets. So
he got more involved. He's had 20 targets over the last 3 games since then.
Right. He has been more involved. Yeah, so I'll have to look at the flex spot there and make a decision.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Schultz, Vele, or Xavier Worthy, who I have in there now. What about Jordan Mason against Dallas? Yeah, no, that's probably not going to work either. But yeah, overall a pretty good team, pretty good roster.
It is. Never done an auction. I'm interested to see how that works.
Oh, it was fun. It took a long time. It was like 3 hours long.
Oh,
but you get a 10-minute break at one point. They do a 10-minute. It's either 5 or a 10-minute break, but there is a break in between. It's fun, man. You nominate a player, it goes up. People bid. There's a voice. The voice comes in and goes, going once. Yeah. Going twice, and then if somebody puts a bid, he shuts up, and then there's a countdown. It counts down from 10 seconds, and when it gets
interesting,
going once, going twice, sold, and then it's the next person's turn to nominate a guy. When you nominate a player, it doesn't have to necessarily be a player that you're targeting. You can nominate like an elite player just to try to get some people to spend some money. You can nominate a play like so one thing I learned about the auction draft is you want to be able to have some money to spend on some of the players that don't get nominated until way late. So like you want to grab a couple of studs early, like drop 30 to 55, 60, $30 to $55. You get $200 to play with. You want to get two studs early, and then kind of pick your spots. Be patient with it. You don't have to be the first person to fill out your roster. If you wait it out, you realize that what you do recognize is there are some teams that spend their money too quickly. and then they kind of shut themselves out of the later stages of the auction draft, which is what I was just talking about. You want to be available. You want to have some money available to spend at that point, because in the event that there are teams that have taken themselves out of the bidding wars, so to speak, at that late, you can get these players a lot easier. Or if there's a player that you really like, that you don't necessarily want to nominate them early on because everybody has the money to spend on them.
Right.
And another thing, you got to pay attention to tier breaks. A lot of people tend to overspend at the end of the tier because they're worried about
not having a position field,
not having somebody in that tier, so they'll overspend on a bottom tier player. This is one thing I noticed too as well. I made sure I joined one that Billy Wasowski was in. He was in this one. His team was terrible in this one.
But he's good at it though.
Yeah, but just what he did, I paid attention to what he did in the auction. How he made everybody pay an extra $2 or $3 on players towards the end of the draft because he had more money than others, and people would nominate a player to try to get him for $1 or $2. He would jack him up to $3, and then the people would have to spend $4. You know what I mean? And in those two, every time you do that, those $2, $3, they add up. They take its toll on somebody's salary, especially that late in the draft. If you haven't kept your maximum bid, so there's a maximum bid, and that's basically if you have 8 roster spots left in $15, then your maximum bid can only be $7 because you need $1 left over for the other spots. So to manage, you want to keep what your maximum bid, at a good level. And some people get towards the mid stages to late stages of the auction, and their maximum bid is not high at all, and it hurts them. You miss out on a lot of guys, and then when you do find the guy you want and you bid $1 or $2 on them, you only got $15, $16 left to fill like 7 spots, and then there's guys jacking them up a couple of dollars on you, and it makes it so that you're forcing that player, that drafter, to spend $1 on like their last 6 or 7 guys because they keep dropping an extra $2 or $3 here and there, and it takes its toll, and you're kind of disabled towards the end of the auction draft. So you want to avoid that. There's a lot of things I learned. It's definitely fun. It was very fun. Long, like I said, I was in front of the computer screen for like 3 hours and some change, or just under 3 hours. I forget. It was long. There was a break involved. It was fun though. I highly recommend doing one, Joe.
I might try that and then try one like Dan was talking about, a guillotine league. I've never done those either.
Nice. Yeah, no, I've never done a guillotine league either. So, but yeah. Josh wants to know if he is in the auction draft with you and he nominates Josh Allen, how high are you gonna let him run the bid up?
About $80.
No way, Joe. I think Josh Allen probably go for like 20 in the high 20s, maybe gets into the 30s, but I would never spend that much on him, as good as he is as a fantasy quarterback. I just know that you can get like, I think Drake May probably went for like $4 to $7. So that, you know what I mean? So it's just a budget management situation there. I'd rather spend my money on Bijan or on like a premium player, wide position player than a quarterback, because you can get like Matt Stafford was probably $1.
God, that was a bargain.
You know what I mean? And he's out there, throwing 4 touchdown passes a game. So, it's a budget management thing with quarterback. Definitely not going to be one that spends premium money on a quarterback. I don't even like to draft elite quarterbacks. Never mind spend auction money on them. So, but yeah, it was definitely a fun draft. Great experience. I'll be doing another one next year for sure, especially after I came in first place on my first one, so that worked out pretty good. Yeah, I could have had a better auction draft itself, but the player selection, I did pretty good with the player selection. I did good managing the team. I picked up Jacoby Brissett. He saved my season. I was rolling with Kyler Murray initially, and C.J. Stroud became available at some point too, and I managed to get by on those quarterbacks. So, but I mean, we're almost at 2 hours, Joe. I gone through the teams that I got through the playoffs. I'm happy. I'm fortunate, happy, grateful that I got 4 in the shootout.
Oh, yeah.
One of them sharing with Steve. Sucks that my primetime team just missed out. It sucks that I missed out on the league prize in both of the New York drafts by very, very little.
You're doing good.
But it's going to be a great week. Josh says, great show. Good luck this week. I appreciate it, Josh. Good luck to everybody that's in the shootout. If you got a team in there, it's exciting. It's exciting to have a team competing for $250K.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Got to get lucky. You absolutely have to get lucky. There's no doubt about that. But consider give yourself a pat on the back. You got there. It's a lot of hard work all year. These leagues are not easy to win. So give yourself some grace. Take a moment and enjoy that you made it, and see how it goes, man. Have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
And that's it. I got nothing else to add, Joe. Appreciate you. Appreciate you joining, man. Let me hide the screen now for the we'll get this back out of here like that. There we go. All right. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Michael just chimed in. Michael Gamberg, we got to get him on. He says up. He's got to go through the fantasy background interview. I make everybody go through it. Don't think you're not going to go through it, Mike. We're going to get you on. We're going to highlight another NFFC player. Hopefully you can do next week. If not, we'll figure out a Tuesday. But appreciate you coming on the reaction show last night. It was great having you. He's on his way back from the Flyers game. I hope they lost, but no offense, but I hate the Flyers. I'm a Bruins fan, so it's only natural. But yeah. Michael Gamberg, another NFFC guy, great guy. Hope to highlight him on Aces Up in the near future.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, for sure. 4-1 Flyers, he says. The Flyers won. All right. All right, but we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate you tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the Sports Affiliation, go ahead and do that. We're still on our quest to get to 1,000 subscribers. My daughter has kept her word. She will do a cartwheel video when that happens, and I'm supposed to try to match that without ending up in the emergency room. So that'll be a hilarious video, something you guys can get to look forward to. So go over to YouTube. If you're listening on X, go over to YouTube. Hit that subscribe button for us. It helps us out. We appreciate it. Good luck with your fantasy football playoffs and your Week 15 matchups. Hope you all get the fantasy points you need and have fun with it and enjoy the 2-3 week shootout. Man. Next week works on Tuesday. Mike is in, so that's it. Next Tuesday night, we got Michael Gamberg, and then I'm sure after he goes through the interview, we'll bring on somebody else, probably Joey. Joey's always down to come back on. Maybe we can get Dan and the boys, Steve, Josh, whoever wants to come on. These guys have permanent invites, But for the first half hour, we're going to get Michael Gamberg's fantasy background. We're going to highlight another NFFC player. Looking forward to that. Appreciate it, Mike. But that's it. I'm gonna really get out of here this time. Joe, appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
You too.
Have a good night, everybody.